You know, Harvey, there's a lot of few things to do, man, but, there's a lot of few things to do with our commission, so we don't really want to know, but, well, it's horrible today, isn't it, Harvey? Hope this is not really working, but, our Victor is useless. You know what? I don't think this is gonna work for us. Not until morning, not until the afternoon, and yeah, I mean, it's midnight actually. Dark midnight. This is the real thing to do, but it's a real thing. I hope these guys weren't obvious to tell. Well, there is nothing we can do, Harvey, doesn't it? But firstly, Harvey, but the real thing to ask, and I don't think this is going to work for us. Strange and terrible. But because we were terrifying, Harvey. I hope this is going to work. With any reason moment that we don't want to forgive, I don't think this is going to work. This thing's horrible to me. But it's horrible to us now, Harvey. Nothing to do about our circumstances. Well, there is nothing we can do. Eventually not. This is kind of weird. This is exactly weird stuff as it calmed down or something. We don't really want to know about it. Sounds horrible to us. But if I believe in you, don't believe me, Harvey. If I wish to say hello to you in a personal greeting, I'll tell you what. We were just friends before we just came back to our secondary schools and colleges a lot. Hope these guys weren't available for us, but if we both not been serious, then whose turn is it then? But we wanted to know, didn't we? But actually, it doesn't matter who we were friends or something. But the reason why it isn't. So, well, I have to say if it wasn't mine, but it's not your fault, Harvey, but it's our fault. But it's my fault, actually. For some reason, this is not gonna work at all. You know what I mean? Harvey. Come on, Steve. You don't really have to do this, Steve, but if there's nothing we can do about it, Steve, then who are you supposed to be doing? But this is not the only one we can do. But the reason why I cannot do whether we wanted, but this is not, this is unfair, It's unfair. It's kind of unfair to see. This is not the only one we'll be doing, but nothing happened, nothing excited. Well, it turns out for goods, aren't we? But for some reason, though, it's weird. Hope it's nasty or something. But for some reason, though, it's not the real thing. But it's about us. It's about us to telling people what we were talking about. But the only things we don't, it's weird. Hope it'll last about 25 or something, but just keep our eyes open, you know what I mean? We don't think we were strict men's. We strict, But we've both been strict, so we are strict men's. So we were actually reborn in our lives. It fools me again. But tomorrow though, Steve, it wasn't your fault, Steve, but it's weird. Hopefully it is weird though, Steve. Hope these people will be back. Hope these guys won't be so horrible, but nothing serious. When they come back, they usually come back in the afternoon or evening. Maybe some of the notes that can help. We can help somebody as we speak. So what are you going to do? I was about to say, Harvey, the homicide lockdown, it's weird. But I have to say, Harvey, it wasn't our fault, but it's the real thing. It's the real thing to say. You know? But the truth is now, it wasn't our fault. It was my fault actually, but I'm sorry. No excuse. Or nothing. But we don't do anything to decide. So we don't have to decide anything or something. Probably in our ages, but depends what our age is doing. Every people were got killed by officers then trying to escape the quarantine. They tried to enter the quarantine, but every officers and SWATs and FBI's, they're shot. They got killed. Because they're open fired and shoot everybody from the quarantine to protect it. But that's strange. What if people were protesting the quarantine? They were protesting. So they were about to protest, you know. Because sometimes it protests the quarantine, because sometimes the FBI's and SWATs have been protested. So every protesters are doing it. So they were about to get going. Again and again. But against them, we don't really get a control gangsters and all the time. But that's a weird thing. Yes, Stephen. I know what you mean. But for some reason though, Steve, but don't know what Victor's gonna say, you know, but your boys like men's, like we not even restrict. We're not even strict men's. We both call it like a strict. So every people who call them a strict, so we don't really think we were strict. We were strict men's. Because we came alongside the street alley, yeah? And they came alongside street alley. So one of our Victor's Medosmans, they used to taking over the streets, so they can taking over it. So they'll take over the streets and a street alley. So we have to protect the street alley, and then we have to keep the area safe. Otherwise, every people who enter the street alley, they will be alerted. So they will come out and shoot them. So, well, totally be honest, you know. Totally be honest. We don't think we were doing about... There was nothing about the homicide lockdown. It's about us.